everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to our Monday Yoga Flow class. Today, we are going to do a full body flow. I really wish I could see you guys in person, then I could ask you guys how you are. And for those of you who are participating, who are usually in my in-person classes and are obviously also living in Calgary like me, we could talk about what's up with the weather. I checked it yesterday because I wanted to go out, get some outside, as long as it was safe to do so. And they said that there were snow showers, and I had no idea what that meant. So, yeah, now I do. Snow showers. It's kind of like really, I guess, light dusting and continuous dusting of snow, but it's too warm for it to land as snow. So it's all wet and everything. Hence why I was supposed to. Aha, have my fireplace on to keep us nice and snug. And then, of course, if you're coming to join us from somewhere that's not Alberta, then perhaps you're in a much warmer climate, in which case, excellent. You're already warmed up and you're ready to go for this yoga flow. All right, you guys, let's get started. Today, we're going to work on, well, just kind of like a feel good whole body stretch, but also our foundations. And I promise you, it'll strengthen you and it'll be fun. If you let it be fun. All righty, let's get going. As per usual, we start with some grounding. So today I invite you to take either Sukhasana, your legs crossed, or you can recline back if you're feeling a little bit fatigued, a little bit tired. I know this is for us in Calgary anyways, week 3 of social distancing and isolation. And yeah, it can get to you. So if you need rest today, I do invite you to lie down, maybe in Shavasana or Supta, but reclined butterfly. Wherever you are, inhale and exhale. Allow your eyes to close. And this is perfect. And the first few breaths are for you to arrive. And as you arrive, feel yourself sinking back into your body, noticing what you notice, and perhaps begin to notice the sensation of the mat underneath your sit bones, or the temperature and sensations on the insides of your palms. Perhaps you can even hear your own heartbeat, feel your own heartbeat through your chest. You know that you're arriving when you can feel these bodily sensations. A lot of times, we're not quite in our bodies. Number one, we haven't taught to be in our bodies. There's no course in school for that. And because of that, when anything uncomfortable arises, maybe an uncomfortable motion or feeling, we learn instead to leave our bodies. Yet, because of this mind body connection, you can find so much peace, so much relief. Number one, letting be what wants to come through. And number two, helping it breathe through and flow through. So, on that note, take one releasing breath, a long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, don't hold back. Sigh out through your mouth. Notice your shoulders sinking away from your ears. Let's do one more long, deep inhale through your nose. And don't hold back. Sigh out through your mouth, letting go of anything that doesn't serve you, anything that feels heavy, weighs you down. Thoughts, interactions, experiences, occurrences. And as you actively let go, notice the letting go of the tension throughout your body as well, like the crown of your head and the sides of your jaws. Notice for a moment as you just simply ask in your mind's eye for your shoulders to draw away from your ears that they do. As you ask your arms to relax, allow themselves to be fully supported by the point of contact between your hands and your knees. Let your arms too begin to feel a little heavier. The inner leg line softens, your hips soften. And at the same time, there's a sense of energy rising up through the base of your spine, all the way up past the crown of your head. So you sit just a little bit taller and you breathe just a little bit deeper. And now that you've paid attention to your breath, notice it, allowing each inhale, inhaling that cool air through your nose, down the back of your throat, and into both lungs. And exhale fully and completely. There is no rush at all. Inhale cool air through your nostrils, down the back of your throat, into both lungs, and maybe even all the way down into your belly. Long inhale and exhale slowly out through your nose. Noticing a softening of your body as you allow every bit of that stale air out. And even as you resume normal breathing now, find that your breath is naturally a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. And find that your pace has slowed down. So, no matter what had happened this morning or over the weekend, you've now entered into this place of presence where there is no past or future, just simply the inhales and exhales through your nostrils. And if you continue allowing yourself to be with just those inhales and exhales, at least even throughout today's practice, and of course, at times that monkey mind might pull your attention away. That's okay, as long as you keep coming back to it, you're going to create this sense of peace within yourself. Like the eye of a storm, or I like to think more of the stillness in the ocean. No matter how hard those waves are crashing in on the surface, no matter how tumultuous it might seem, you go deep, deep, deep down into the ocean. And at the core, there is always peace. And there's always calm. And there's always this recognition that it's all water. The ocean is the water. The waves are the water. And so with you as well, deep, deep, deep down inside your core, there's this sense of peace, of well-being. And when you sit with what is, simply watch your breath in and out, whether you're sitting or moving through your practice, moving through your flow. You get closer to that space of inner stillness, of that inner peace. This is perfect. Take a few more breaths here, knowing that this is all that's asked of you right now. There's no further expectations, there's no further anticipations that you need to take, that you need to have. Just to simply be as comfortable as possible. And if you're lying down on the mat, now is a good time to come back into a seated position. And if you're already in your seated position, then on your next inhale, flutter your eyes. Open arms up toward the sky, look up toward the ceiling, and stretch up, reach up, maybe sway from side to side. A little morning stretch in case you didn't get it this morning. And eventually, the next time you come back to center, reach forward, draw your belly button to the spine, waking up that belly button interaction with the spine. Round out that upper back, upper shoulder area. Reach forward, draw forward. And inhale, rise up, reach up, tip on over toward the left hand side, and just kind of do little figure eights, rocking over onto the right because it feels good, warming up that spine. Left, reach forward, tipping over onto the right. About 3 rounds of this. And then eventually, after that third round, you come over onto the opposite side. So tipping onto the right hand side, reach forward. The left hand side to the right, reach forward and to the left. One more to make 3 on both sides. Nice. Inhale, reach up one more time because it feels good. And exhale, lower your hands down. Take a gentle twist. Your left hand over your right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twisting from your torso. Maybe your gaze comes past that right shoulder. Inhale, sit a little taller. Exhale, twist just a tad more. Inhale, back to center and right hand over your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twisting. Gaze past your left shoulder this time. And of course, you're only gazing past that left shoulder if it's not straining your neck in any way, shape, or form. Inhale, come on back to center. And speaking of our necks, I know our necks and shoulders get so tight. I know that even if you're working from home, we're still sitting in front of that laptop and we're still in that C shape. So let's tuck our chin toward our chest, rock onto the left or to the right, your choice. And slowly, slower than you want, come on over toward the opposite side. Letting it just feel good. There's no trying, there's just a simply listening to your body, this body awareness. Just these half circles, half moons, eventually come on back to center. Okay, hands come forward, feet come behind. Cat cows. Inhale, tailbone to the sky and gaze up to the ceiling. And exhale, round your back, tuck that tailbone in, your gaze towards your belly button. Inhale, tailbone to the sky, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, round your back. Okay. And as you continue on with your own breath, begin to notice your foundations, that your hand is directly underneath your shoulders and that your knees are directly underneath your hips. In the name of body awareness, you can play around with tucking your toes underneath and having the ball or the tops of your feet down on the mat, whatever feels best to you here. Eventually sway from side to side, wagging the tail, right hip to right shoulder, left hip to left shoulder. Nice, wagging the tail. And eventually draw that left hip down to that left heel. Swirl it around to the right hand side, hip circles. Do one way or the other. About 3 circles here until you switch sides. So if you started on the left this time, right hip to the right heel. And just spiraling. Yeah, beginning to get that body warm. And after that third round, come back to tabletop position. And let's get into those shoulders. Inhale, right arm up toward the sky, moving nice and slow so you're not whipping your arm up there. Nice, slow and graceful, opening up through that chest, waking it up. I'm doing all that sitting and that C curve you get into as you are right in front of your laptop. Okay, and then exhale. Sweep your right arm underneath your left. This is a good place to place a block or a blanket underneath your head or shoulders if you need support. You always have support. Okay, if that upper mid back area, that thoracic area is feeling a little tight today, then just simply press your left hand into the ground to just open up that thoracic a little bit more. And if you want more for your shoulders, then perhaps you wrap that left hand behind your back toward that right hip. You might even extend that left leg out in front of you, tucking that right shoulder in. Nice. Left hand comes back down beside you if it's behind your back, and left foot comes back in if it's extended out. Inhale, nice, slow, and graceful. Stick around here one hot second, opening up. Exhale, plant that right hand back down, and left arm up toward the sky, opening up that chest. And then exhale. Exhale, sweep that left arm underneath the right, landing on your left shoulder, your head to follow. Again, your choice if you want to just gently press that right hand down to open up that upper mid back area, or if you want to wrap that right hand behind your back towards your left hip. You can extend that right leg out in front of you. And right hand comes back down beside you. Left or right leg comes back in, and inhale, left arm up toward the sky, opening up that chest. Exhale, plant that left hand back down. Tuck your toes underneath the mat. Lift your hips up toward the sky. Downward dog. Pedal it out. Drawing in your right knee, then your left knee. Maybe swing from one side to the other, continuing to open up that side body area. Take whatever movements you want. Allow yourself to explore these different movements. Maybe even playing around because we're working on foundations today. What does it feel like if your big toes touch rather than having them apart? What does it feel like if you open up your toes toward the outer edges of the mat? Same with your hands. If your hands are wider than you normally have them or more narrow, and noticing what happens in your downward dog as you shift the positions of your hands and feet. Just getting playful. And then eventually come back to your foundation. So your feet are about hip distance apart, your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Your hands are slightly webbed, not unnaturally so, but just slightly webbed so that there's space between each finger. Press down with the fingertips and the bottoms of your knuckles so that you spread the weight evenly through your wrist. Lift your hips up toward the sky. And come all the way up onto your tippy toes. Nice. Exhale, draw your heels all the way back down. Heels may or may not touch, either way is fine. And then gently come down onto your knees. Big toes come together, knees as wide as your mat. Child's pose. Forehead comes down first so your nose doesn't have to. And just take a few breaths here in your child's pose, actively drawing your hip down towards your heels. And this time, keep your elbows lifted. So you're actively drawing the tips of your fingers up toward the top of the mat. Nice stretch through the back side of your body. Nice. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Tuck your toes underneath the mat and hips up toward the sky, downward dog. Inhale that right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, draw that right knee toward your chest. Yes, stick around here. Activating that core, belly button to spine. Round your upper back just a little bit. Your gaze toward the top of the mat. And when you're ready, as gently as you can, step that right foot all the way through. Low runner's lunge. Your hands on either side of that right foot. And of course, you've got support. You can place blocks or books beside it if you'd like that extra height. So you're opening up that left hip flexor. You absolutely have the option to come down onto that left knee. That hip flexor's not ready for that. Or on the other end of things, maybe you just gently pulse, not very far. just gently pulsing, encouraging that hip flexor to open up. Eventually come back into stillness, and if your left knee is down, tuck your left toes underneath the mat and lift that left knee up. We'll flow. On your next exhale, lengthen out that right leg. Your nose aims towards your right shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, lengthen that right leg, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, lengthen that left leg, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Nice job. Hands plant to either side of that right foot. Step back, flow through, lower down. Chaturanga or onto your belly. And inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale that left leg up toward the sky, and exhale, draw that left knee towards your chest. Tuck that belly button into your spine. Round that upper back a little bit. And when you're ready, gently, as quietly as you can, plant that left foot in between both hands. Again, you have the option to use blocks or books underneath your hands, or to keep that right knee up or right knee down. You might even pulse a little bit. Opening up that right hip flexor. Eventually you come into stillness, and let's flow. On your next exhale, lengthen out that left leg, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Plant your hands toward either side of that left foot. Step back. Second flow. Flow through, lower down. Chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. Then walk your feet towards your hands and ragdoll. You can bring a gentle bend into the backs of your knees if you need it, especially if you're feeling pulling on that low back. Then I absolutely recommend a little gentle bend in the backs of your knees. Rock your body from side to side and up and down. Shake your head yes and no. Take a moment here. Just kind of take stock, take inventory of how that upper body is feeling, how that upper body is doing. And eventually allow your hands to completely dangle. Inhale, flat back, hands on the ground or hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, arms up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward. Very nice. Let's flow. Inhale, arms up toward the sky, Suriname scar A, gaze between your thumbs, and exhale, swan. Dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat, and flow through, lower down, Chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra, and exhale, downward dog. Okay, long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. Then on your next inhale, come forward, high plank. Let's work on the foundation of your plank. Just like in tabletop, your shoulder is stacked right over top of your wrist. So you're not dumping any weight in that low back, and you're not poking your bum up either. Nice, flat core, as if a wall is coming up from underneath you and down from above you. Tuck that belly button into your spine. If you're shaking, that's actually might be a good thing. If you're shaking, you think you're going to face plant, you can always come down onto your knees, and that is so good as well. One more breath. And then exhale, hips come up first, downward dog. Make sure you're using your core to help you through your flow to protect that low back. Let's continue to warm up those shoulders. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, press back down. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, press back downward dog. Okay, you know how I said we're going to practice on those chaturungas and strengthen our arms? Now's the time. Inhale, come forward, high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Keep your elbows nice and tucked to your rib cage if you need. You can drop down onto your knees and eventually all the way down onto your belly. Nice. I think that we held that for like 3 or 4 breaths. Really good. Okay, so while we're here anyways, let's do our baby cobras first. So the tops of your feet are down on the mat. Your hands are just down beside you, maybe where your armpits are. And when you're ready, inhale, lift up, upper and mid back, shoulders away from your ears. And you might even be able to lift your hands up because in baby cobra, we're just using the strength of our upper and lower back or mid back to help us. Exhale, lower back down. Whew, that was good. And one more time. This time you can come into cobra or baby cobra whenever you're ready. Inhale, baby cobra, or if you want to come into cobra, recruit the use of your hands. If you feel any compression in that low back, though, allow yourself to come down a little bit more. And don't feel like as if you have to like reel yourself back either, kind of like Little Mermaid, but no, not but like Little Mermaid. What you do want to do is imagine that there's a nice smooth curve coming up from the bottom of your sacrum all the way up through to the crown of your head. So you're not an L, you're a nice smooth curve. Your shoulders away from your ears and draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower back down. Nice. We held that guy for 5 breaths. Way to go. You're starting to strengthen already. Tuck your toes underneath the mat. And while we have the strength, you tuck your belly button into your spine and try your very, very best with a firm core to pop all the way back up. Nice. High plank. Press back. Downward dog. Inhale that right leg up toward the sky and exhale, draw that right knee toward your chest, round that upper back area. Belly button still to your spine, gaze toward the top of your mat, and nice, slow, and gentle plant that right foot in between both hands. We've been here before, low runner's lunge. Eventually, drop that left knee all the way down, both hands toward the inner edge of that right foot toward the outer edge of the mat, and right hand to right leg, gently opening up your hips. Both hands come back to center. Right foot comes back to center. Take a gentle twist here. Left hand toward the inner edge of that right foot and right arm up toward the sky. Gentle twist. Exhale, right hand plants toward the outer edge of that right foot. Tuck your left toes underneath the mat. Lift your left knee up off of the mat and flow. Exhale, nose aims for your right shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, straighten out that right leg. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, straighten out that right leg. Inhale, low runner's lunge. And this time, as you ground into that right leg, rise all the way up into crescent lunge. Squeeze your inner leg line together. Press into the ball of that left foot to help you keep balance. Nice, strong inhale, inhale. And exhale, open up, warrior 2, your gaze nice and strong past your right fingertips. Wrap your left hand behind your back and towards your right hip. Reach back, exalted warrior. Inhale back to warrior 2. Straighten out that right leg. Draw yourself toward the top of your mat and lower down. Trikonasana. This is also another good place to use a block or to use your books. Find length in your torso. Imagine that you're flattening your back against a wall behind you. And inhale, rise all the way back up. Re-engage warrior 2. Right elbow on your right leg. And inhale, left arm up and overhead. Perhaps you open up your wings. Left arm up toward the sky. Right hand down toward the inner edge of that right foot. Perhaps you wrap that left hand behind your back, that right hand underneath that right leg. Maybe you come into a bind. Maybe you're working on it. Eventually, one day, both hands will clasp. If your hands do clasp in your bind, draw the crown of your head toward the top of the mat. Nice. Gently release the clasp. Inhale, open up your wings again and rise back up into warrior two. We have so much heat going on. I don't need any excess from the fireplace. Okay, straighten out that right leg. Pivot both feet toward the long edge of your mat. Hands to either side of your hips and exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Crown of your head toward the top of the mat. Eventually your hands come down. You can use support underneath the palms of your hands, or if it's pretty easy for you to be on the palms of your hands, come down onto your elbows. Noticing your inner leg line opening up. If your legs are particularly tight, you might even be able to trace the line of opening from the inner leg line, almost like as if it's wrapping toward the outer edges of your calves and like shooting out your pinky toes. Allow that upper body to rest, to find space, especially between your neck and your shoulders. And eventually inhale, come back up onto the palm of your hands. Left hand plants down in front of you and inhale. Make sure that the twist is coming from the torso and that it's not coming from the hips. You know it's coming from the hips when the sacrum is crooked. So inhale, right hand towards your sacrum on that note to test it out first. So you could see that I'm already jutting out toward my right hand side. I want to even that out. And then if it feels good for you, if it doesn't strain your low back in any way, then inhale, right arm up toward the sky, twisting. Exhale, plant that right hand back down toward the center of the mat and left hand on your sacrum, testing out once again that you're not jutting out through that left hip. Nice, even sacrum. And with that nice, even sacrum, inhale, left arm up toward the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down to meet the right. Firm your belly button to your spine, hands to either side of your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice. Pivot your left toes. Now we're spinning around toward the back of your mat. Pick up onto the ball of that right foot, hands up toward the sky. Inhale, nice and strong. Crescent lunge. Squeeze your inner leg line together. Keep pressing into the ball of that right foot. And next breath, open up, warrior two, left hand side. Left leg is engaged, so much so that that knee might even come in line with that ankle. Make sure that your knee is tracking over your third toe and you're not knocking, I should change this way, and that you're not knocking that left knee in. When you knock that left knee in, you're not activating the inner edge muscle here. Nice. So drawing it all the way back, and right hand wraps behind your back towards the left hip. Reach back, exalted warrior, and inhale, warrior two. Straighten out that left leg. Draw yourself toward the back of your mat and lower down, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So it's not so much about that left hand trying to come down to meet your left toe. It's more about the length in your torso. The longer your torso, the more beneficial you're getting from this pose. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice, re-engage. Warrior two. And left elbow on your left leg. Inhale, right arm up and overhead. If you're so inclined to, maybe you open up your wings, right hand up toward the sky, left hand down toward the inner edge of that left foot. Wrap that right hand behind your back. Wrap that left arm underneath that left leg. Maybe you take a bind. If you're in your bind, draw the crown of your head toward the back of your mat. And then gently release your bind. Reopen your wings. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Straighten out that left leg. Both feet pivot toward the long edge of the mat. Hands to either side of your hips. Exhale, hinge at your hips. And this time, take your peace fingers and wrap them over your big toes. taking a variation of wide-legged forward fold. If it doesn't reach your big toes, you can always plant them on your ankles or your calves. Nice. Hands come back to center. Firm your belly button to your spine. Hands to either side of your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Left foot pivots toward the back of the mat once again and pick up onto the ball of that right foot. Hands come over top that left foot. And here you are. Your low runner's lunge. You still have the option of coming down onto your right knee should you wish to take that. Okay, and then gently come down onto your right knee, right hand toward the inner edge of that left foot, and left hand up toward the sky, twisting. Exhale, left hand toward the inner edge of that left foot toward the outer edge of the mat. A little bit of hip loving. Your left hand on your left leg, gaze past that left knee. Pay attention to what's opening up here. What's opening up here is your left hip and maybe even your right hip flexor. If you're not feeling much by way of your right hip, maybe you're at a 90-degree angle, draw that right leg back so that it's at about 45 degrees. Both hands come back to center. Nice. Tuck your right toes underneath the mat. Step back, high plank, and just press back. Downward dog. Long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. Walk your hands back towards your feet. And you're once again at the front of the mat, sort of. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms come up toward the sky, hands to heart center. And in no fancy way whatsoever, just turn yourself back to face the front of the mat. Okay, our last flow of the day, and we're going to end up breaking this one down as well when we come to the chaturanga. So inhale, arms up toward the sky, gaze between your thumbs, and exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat. Okay, here we go. Lower down, Chaturanga. Stay here. You can come down onto your knees, maybe even a tabletop position to take the weight off the arms. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or baby cobra. Wherever you are, if your shoulders are shrugged up towards your neck, shoulders away from your ears. Draw your shoulder blades together. Nice, smooth curve. Nice, tall crown of your head. And exhale, lower all the way back down because this is the last one and because you can. Tuck your toes underneath the mat. Firm your belly button to your spine and pop all the way up. Nice. High plank. Press back. Nice. Downward dog. Take a long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. And then on your next breath, inhale, right leg up toward the sky, pigeon pose. Exhale, sweep right foot behind your left hand. Right foot behind your left hand. Lengthen that left leg back behind you. Inhale, sitting tall. And you know what? That shin, I should demo this. That shin doesn't have to land at 90 degrees. It'll land at an angle, and that's okay. That's actually safer for your knees when it lands at a bit of an angle. Inhale and exhale, lower all the way down. And on the note of safety, I really love pigeon pose because it's such a nice hip opener. And for many, many people, it just feels good wherever you land in pigeon pose. For some of us, we need to play around with it. So notice your body sensation. If there's any pinching or any grinding of the bones, then you might want to shift out of the position, not might, then you do want to shift out of that position that you're in. And all it takes is just a tiny change, maybe shifting your knee to the left or to the right, or maybe a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Nice, as your breath slows. Find that you're coming back to these long, deep inhales and long, deep exhales. And then begin to draw back into the sense of quiet, the sense of introspection. Inhale, come on back onto the palm of your hands. Tuck your left toes underneath the mat. And inhale, right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, plant it back down. Inhale, left leg up toward the sky. And exhale, left foot behind your right wrist. Lengthen that right leg out behind you. Shoelace side of that right foot down on the mat. Inhale, sit tall. Take your time. There's still no rush, never any rush. And exhale, lower down. Pigeon pose, using a block or a blanket or a pillow underneath your forehead or elbows if you'd like. And still notice the sensation that you feel in your pigeon pose. Again, if there's any pinching or any grinding of bones, or tingling, that's the worst one. Because then that means that you're compressing a nerve. Then shift a little to the left, a little to the right. And by little, I mean like a millimeter. Find that sweet spot where you feel that opening in that left hip. And then gently on your next inhale, come on back up onto the palm of your hands. Tuck your right toes underneath the mat. And inhale, left leg back. And back down into your very last downward dog of the day. Eventually come down onto your knees. Sweep your feet out in front of you. Staff pose, Dandasana. Maybe using your hands to remove the fleshy bits of your sit bones out of the way. Your hands come back beside you. It's like as if you're sitting flat backed against a wall that's behind you. Sitting nice and tall. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. And exhale, hinge at your hips. Lead with your chest. Your heart comes forward first. And allow your arms to land wherever they want to land in forward fold. If you do have a good hold toward the outsides of or the soles of your feet, you might want to take a book or a block, something flat. Place it right over top the soles of your feet so that you can encourage this kind of evenness through the edges of your feet. Heart comes forward first. Nice. And then inhale, rise all the way back up and roll all the way down onto your back. As you arrive, draw the soles of your feet together for a reclined butterfly. Your arms open up into cactus arms, gently coaxing the chest to open up. Okay. And then eventually draw your knees together. Draw your right knee into your chest. Hug your right knee into your chest. Lengthen that left leg all the way down in front of you. A little stimulation for the digestive system. I feel that many of us who are social distancing or isolating have been snacking a little more than we normally would. So this is good to encourage the digestive system to just keep working, keep going. Okay, and then eventually take your right knee with your left hand and gently, so gently guide it all the way toward the left hand side, past that left leg. Your right arm rolls right wide out beside you, and you find yourself in a twist. You can keep that left hand on your right leg for some grounding or anchoring, or that left hand can also open up beside you, whatever feels best. And if this twist seems too deep or is too deep for you, then you can always bring a bend into that left knee and just soften that twist a little bit. So it's not so intense. Inhale. Draw that right knee back to center and then hug your left knee into your chest. Left knee closer towards your left armpit. Lengthen out that right leg in front of you. Soften the belly. And then taking that left leg in, that right hand, gently, gently guide that left knee all the way past the right leg. Left arm rolls right wide out in front of you, your gaze past that left arm. That right knee can stay on that left leg for anchoring and grounding, or you can open up that right arm right wide out beside you. Nice. Eventually guide that left knee back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. Maybe rock them side to side. You've got a little freedom here. Maybe if you want to take a happy baby, you can do that. A little bridge, you can do that as well. And eventually, after 3 breaths, find yourself in Shavasana. So in Shavasana, your hands are down beside you, palms face the sky. Your feet are right out in front of you. Let your feet flop out to either which way. That low back is sore. Take a blanket or a pillow underneath your knee so that you have a little bit of support there. And when you're nice and comfortable, settle in with one releasing breath. A long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. Side out through your mouth. Nice, long exhale. And sink in, sink down, letting go of anything that's still gripping, that's still holding tension. Usually our legs are still trying to do something for us. So soften those legs, soften your glutes. You let your eyes drop to the back of your head down into the mat, softening. Soften the space between your brows, your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Softening your neck. Notice as your shoulders let go and they drop a little bit closer towards your mat. What effect that has on your arms as you actively ask your arms to soften as well. Falling heavy in a good way, letting go completely. Even all 10 fingers in the insides of your palms soften a little bit. Chest, your ribs, your belly. Noticing what ease your belly rises and falls with each breath. It fills with air, releases stale air. From the nape of your neck all the way down to your sacrum, even the backs of your ribs are all supported. And they can all let go. Your hips, your legs, all the way down to all 10 toes and even the inner and outer edges of your feet. Everything softens. So you've arrived here to this precious part of the practice. The goal of the practice altogether is to get you into Shavasana. So um, don't skimp on the Shavasana. Don't miss out on the Shavasana because here is where you rest. And here is where the door is most open to that place of inner stillness within you. So focus on the breath as you inhale that cool air through your nostrils and your belly rises. And exhale as you release the air in your belly falls. Just like the waves of an ocean. And there's this flow, there's this rhythm. Inhale, waves come in. Belly rises. Exhale, waves go out. Belly fall. Let yourself be here, noticing this for 5 breaths. If you have the time, stay in this sweet space of Shavasana for a little bit longer, please. Allow yourself the time and the space to do so. If you do need to get up and continue on with your day, then do so slowly. Wherever you are, I'll leave you here in this sweet space of Shavasana. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.